If this is your first time watching, welcome. I have done a few videos beforehand. I just finished up a bridal series. I did a bronze glow before that, a get ready with me, and a brow tutorial. So if you're new to my channel, welcome, and please feel free to check out those. If you also have not liked my Glam by Kimberly M Facebook page or Instagram, I'll provide the links below in that. Also, please subscribe and like my YouTube channel. Thank you. I don't know if you've watched my last video, but it was the part 3 of my bridal series. So we are done with that. We did all 3 of them. I posted it on Sunday, so if you haven't watched it, it is uploaded. I do want to apologize because it was a voiceover, so I didn't think that I actually needed a microphone because when I played it back on iMovie, it sounded fine. I listened to that tutorial until I was tired of hearing my voice. So when I actually went back and listened to it on YouTube, I realized that once I cut over from me actually talking to y'all to just doing my makeup, that my voice severely decreased. So I do apologize for that. You still can hear me if you turn your volume up, but I just wanted to give you a heads up on that just in case you haven't watched it yet. So today I am going to do a blue eyeshadow tutorial. I don't know if you are familiar with the new KKW Mario collab, but they did do you know, a celebration of their 10-year anniversary. So they did a palette, lip gloss, lipstick, and in that palette was this beautiful blue color, which I don't have, crossing my fingers that I get it on their next release, but I do have a similar blue to that. So I am gonna do this tutorial today, and I'm also gonna do another tutorial with a pop of blue. So for those of you who are a little bit more edgy and do want to try this, this will be your look. For those of you who don't necessarily want a full blue eye, the next one will definitely be geared towards you. Alright, so let's get started. Now I am going to do my eyes first just because we are going in with darker colors. So if I have any fallout onto my cheeks, I don't want to have to go and clean that up after I've done my makeup look. So I am going to start with my eyes today, and then I am using the Kat Von D's Saint and Sinner palette. It looks like this, because it has the closest colors in it that I own to the Kim Kardashian and Mario palette. So that's why I am going to use this palette today. Alright, so to prime my eyes, I'm going to go in with my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I'm just going to use that all over my eyes. And I like the soft ochre paint pot just because it has more of like a beigey cream color to it, so it blends better with my skin. MAC makes several colors in the paint pot, so this is just what works best for me. And I like that it's not like a stark difference in coloration from my natural skin tone, but it does do a really good job at kind of covering any of the discoloration on my eyelid. It just kind of creates a really nice canvas to work on. And you can use your finger with this. You can use a beauty blender. You don't have to necessarily use a brush, it's just more convenient for me. And you can even kind of use it to go in and clean up your brows too, which I kind of just left mine the way I had them today, but go in and clean up a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to use a flat Morphe brush and just go in with the color Amen. And again, this has kind of got a creamy color to it. It just blends right in with that soft ochre color. And I'm just going to use this all over to set that paint pot. This is more of a matte shade, so I don't have like any sheen to it. I think all of these except for the blue that I'm going to use are pretty matte, which I think it is in the KKW Mario palette too. I think a lot of those colors are matte except for the blue, and I think there might be like one other shade in there. Next, I'm going to go in with the color Martyr, and it's a, I'll have to show it to you. It's kind of a hard brown to explain. But again, I'm going to use this in my crease. And I know in the past couple of videos I've said the contour of your brow bone. And the reason I say that is because if you do have a hard time finding your crease, you can kind of lean back and see, though it'll create like a little shadow. So that's why a lot of times you'll hear me say contour versus crease, but same thing. And in this palette, Amen and Martyr are right across from each other. I'll show you all that here in just a second. We're just going back and forth in the usual windshield wiper motions, some circular motions. So you can see just with me putting this color in the crease how much depth it gives my eye already. You can't really see it this much from here, but when I kind of open up you can see that it's giving me some definition in there. And I'm going to bring it up to right below the brow bone. Remember, you always kind of want to keep this area open. Alright. So I'll show you the two colors that I've used so far. I've used this color and this color. So that's the brown that I was telling you. It's kind of hard to describe, but then I'm going to go in next with this orangish color called Devil. So next I'm going to go in with a Morphe RG18, and this is what it looks like. I like it because it's got, it's a little bit denser for one, or more dense I guess would be the proper way to say it. And it's got more of like that pointed tip, so I feel like I have a little bit more precision with it. And kind of like what I would do in some of my other videos on the outer corner of my eye. I'm not going to take it down here because we're going to do the blue right there. But I am just going to take it right from the outer corner to right above my pupil. Or kind of like, well, it's a little past my arch, but not much. And we don't want to cover up that brownish color too much. So we're not going to go all the way up with this. And then I am just going to go in and kind of blend that out a little bit. You don't want to blend too much because you still want that distinct difference in colors there. But at the same time, you don't want a distinct line of different colors either. I feel like you can see the orange a little bit better on this eye. And another trick that I haven't mentioned in some of my videos that you can do, maybe I have, maybe I did mention it, I can't really remember, but also taking a bronzer, which I'm just going to use, since we're sticking with matte shades, I'm just going to use the the Benefit Hoola bronzer that I've been using, just to kind of tie, I feel like it kind of helps tie colors in together without drastically changing them. Now the part that we've been waiting for, I'm going to go in with Ministry, and it is right here. It's this beautiful blue color. And I don't know yet if it's going to be better to use a brush or my finger, so we will see. Maybe we'll do a little bit of both. And we're just going to do the whole bottom of the lid in this shade. That's blue. It's pretty. I really like that. It's okay if it goes a little above the lid. It's going to happen. We'll go back in and blend it out. We'll go back in with the brush that we used to apply that lighter shade all over the eyelid earlier. And we're just going to go in and blend that so it's not so harsh of a line. See how we're kind of just blending that away? And I'll probably go back in with my finger after we're done with this to pack a little bit more blue back on, just because we do want it to be really blue. And actually I'm going to go in with a color Crucifix. I know I used that devil shade. I'm probably going to have to go back in and fix that, or add a little bit more to it, just because I do want it to be a little darker right here. So I feel like we're going to kind of cover up that devil shade. And I'm literally just keeping this right here in the crease of my eye. I'm not taking that any higher. I'll take it higher when we blend. But right now, it's just staying right there. I haven't really worked with the Kat Von D, this Kat Von D palette. I got it, I guess, back in November. I've used it a couple of times, but not a lot. So I'm gonna go back in with that brush that had the devil color on it, the orangish color, and I'm going to use that to kind of blend this out. I like the orange mixed in because it's making that blue really pop. So I want to keep that in there. And then we'll take the brush that we used with the Hoola bronzer and go back in with that and just kind of brush it over. And I am going to go back in with my finger. I'm loving this, it's so pretty. Alright, so you can really see where I'm getting those pops of orange with the blue. It's looking really good. So I did have some fallout, so I'm just going to take a makeup wipe. And this is why I didn't go ahead and do my face makeup before I did this tutorial. Which, I mean, you can always just go back in with concealer and clean up. So as always, I'm going to go in with my Benefit Professional primer. And I know I use this in almost every tutorial that I do, but I really honestly do love it that much. I've tried some other ones, and sometimes they'll leave, like, when I put my foundation on, it'll kind of streak it a little bit. Or I just don't like the way that it looks or feels on my skin. The other primer that I use besides the Benefit Professional, which I don't feel like I've used it yet, is the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. I really like it. I'm going to start off with concealer, and I'm just going to kind of conceal right here on the outer corners of my eye, because like I said, it kind of makes me look like my eyes are a little downturned sometimes. I don't really like that. And I do have a confession, y'all. So when we were in New York, we obviously went to the Sephora there, and they had this little beauty blender kit. I'll link it below. And I honestly have never used a beauty blender before. I always have just been like, it's 20 bucks, like, that's just, I can't. So since I had a little extra birthday money and some gift cards that people had given me, I literally just threw away like the wrapper that went to it. It was a trio set, so it had like the micro, the blusher, and then the actual beauty blender. And I don't think that I will ever be able to use anything but this again. It is worth the $20, I promise. And I'm doing my concealer underneath my foundation today just because I'm not going for like a super highlighted look or anything. And this will kind of show through on my foundation. And as you can see, I'm kind of just taking the tip of my beauty blender and squeezing it together to kind of carve out that line right there where my eyeshadow is. If you want it to be more of a round shape like my last tutorial was with the Smoky Bridal, where I kind of did more of an oval shape, you can definitely do that you would just take it with the concealer and go around. Alright, so now that I look a little scary. So I am going to go in with the Fenty Beauty. So I'm just going to bring that up to meet my concealer. I know I haven't done my highlight and contour video yet, but a good rule of thumb, just to keep in mind, is that you want kind of like the center of your face, so kind of like the heart of your face, to be the lightest part. You don't want to bring too much darkness to that area of your face. And it's the same thing with this. You don't really want to swipe. You want to more pounce. So now that we've got that, I'm going to go in with the Bare Pro Powder Foundation just to set everything with. I'm not going to do any like cream contouring or highlighting today. So it's safe for me to go ahead and go in and set my foundation. And one thing too about the Fenty foundation, if you haven't tried that yet either, is that it does look a little bit lighter going on. Like I feel like looking into the lens right now, it looks really light. But it does oxidize, not like an orange oxidize, but it does get darker once it sets versus going on like the actual color that it'll be. And don't worry, I'm not gonna like leave this like white right here. I'm just going ahead and finishing up my face, and then I'm gonna go back in and do some more eye work. And I'm gonna go in with my Hoola bronzer and just kind of bronze a little bit. And again, even though I'm not heavily contouring, you still want to take it from right up here on your ear and bring it down. Alright, so my camera turned off on me in the middle of bronzing, so I'm pretty much done as it is. I just went ahead and did up here, right around my temples. I do like right in my hairline. I don't necessarily bring it down much further than that. Just kind of give a little bit of warmth to your face. And then as far as blush, I'm going to go in with the Benefit also, Rocketeer. Just because I feel like it's more my skin tone, or blends well with my skin tone. I don't want to go in with like a bright pink or a coral type foundation, not foundation, blush for this look. I'm just putting it right here on the apples of my cheeks. Just because I feel like we have enough going on with the eyes that we don't want to bring too much attention to the rest of your face. Alright, so some of the last few steps to finish up my eyes is I am going to go back in with Ministry, that blue color that we used on the lid. I'm going to grab my mirror for this. And we're going to take it right here on the lower lash line. And because we don't want any fallout from this, I am more using like a tapping motion than anything. And we'll blend this out too. And so you see how we're kind of meeting our line right here. I wasn't just going to leave that stark line on my face. And you still may get just a little bit of fallout with this, which I am getting on my face. That's okay. We can clean that up. So like I've showed in past videos where I have just like a little bit right here. Don't necessarily want to rub that. Alright, so I'm going to go in with that fluffier brush that I used to blend the lid in with the crease and really blend right through here. See the difference, how it looks more blown out right over here than just that stark line over here. You're just bringing it right up here to the outer corner to meet that blue on your lid. So I am using this smaller brush that I just used for the Ministry, and I am going to go in right out here again on the corner of my eye and mix in just a little bit there just to kind of tie that in. So there we go. So now you have more of like that blown out look. Everything kind of blends. So I am going to take that brush that I used the bronzer on just to kind of blend that out a little bit. I don't want like a super stark line right there. And if you want, you can go in and do a winged liner with this as well if you want to add a little bit more intensity, but I feel like that would take away from the blue. And I feel like the blue is already so pretty that you don't want to take away from that. So last couple of steps, I'm going to go in with a black kohl liner and tight line down here. If you have like a dark navy blue, which now that I say that, I think I might, so I might put that over. And you're just going to tight line your lower line and your upper lash line. I do have this Sephora Contour Eye Pencil 12-hour wear. It's waterproof. And I do have it in this, my boyfriend's jeans color. So I am going to go back down here and go over top of that black. Just on the bottom. And with this look, I am going to do some fake lashes, obviously. But I am going to do like a lighter intensity lash just because I don't want to put on like this super intense lash and then it take away from, you know, you can't really see the blue. So I went ahead and popped some lashes off camera, and I just did the House of Lashes Iconic, so it's not anything too crazy, which is what I was saying you don't want, because you definitely want the blue to show through. It's too pretty not to show through. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and highlight, which I'm going to use Mary Luminizer by The Balm. And I like this just because it's not too golden, but it's not too white either. So it's like a good in between, especially for this kind of look where you don't want anything to take away from that blue. So I'm just going to go right here on the high part of my cheeks. And I am going to take just a small Morphe 508 and kind of dab it in the corners of my eye just to kind of bring a little bit of light there. I can't remember if Shayla did this in her video or not. I want to say she did, but you're kind of just blending it in. You don't want anything too stark. And then I am going to take just a little bit right up here on my brow bone. Right below my eyebrows, just to kind of bring a little bit of light there. Alright, so as for your lips, we all know that Kim K is known for her nude lip, which is what Shayla did in the video as well, but I obviously don't have the Kim K colors. So I'm going to go in with the Dose of Colors No Shade that Desi Perkins and Katie collaborated with on, and it is just a really good nude. And then I'm going to go over it with the Maybelline Vivid Hot Lacquer in the color Tease. So as you can see, it's just like a really nude lipstick. And, you know, you can use any nude color would work. Like I have the L'Oreal Collection, and this is the JLo color. So that would be a good nude to use as like a cheaper option. And then top it with the gloss. I'm not a huge fan of like super nude lips, so I'm going to wipe this in a little bit. I wasn't a huge fan of like the super nude. I like nude lipsticks, don't get me wrong, but I don't like that stark, like almost looks like you have foundation on your lips type look. So I did go ahead and go over those two colors again with the Maybelline Vivid Hot Lacquer and Unreal. So that did give it more of like a neutral nude tone versus that like stark nude tone that I felt like I was having. I am trying to aim to post videos on Sundays now. That seems to be the date that worked for everybody, especially with summer coming up. So I hope that you enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you soon.